Welcome back to another video. Here's what's coming up today. So we're back in sunny Kinmare and the suckler calves have turned inside out. Hopefully you'll get good prices in a month's time or whenever, like.
If you see the Range Rover, you know it's very good.
Regards Magnesium.
It's just literally a bucket of it, just a jam bucket, and we throw it into the trucks every 2 days and see kind of the blue tinge in it.
You hear me? If you got the cash, we got the bales.
What have you done, boys?
The hell with you, Joe. Why will not send something?
So right, welcome back to this week's video. We're back here with the Raredens in Cahir and Kinmare. So it was the first week of February, lads. I was here last, wasn't I?
That's right, yeah.
So the calves here behind us, you even just weaned, is it?
Yeah, so we only weaned them this morning, so we took the mothers away from them.
Right.
Now, so the mothers are locked up there, and the calves are down here then,
right.
So they're still being fed ration at the moment, so...
I'll turn around the camera there for everyone watching.
So when we weaned them this morning, the cows are locked up there now, obviously, and the calves are down here, so they'll be being weaned for about a week. The cows then, when they dry up, they'll probably get a bit of straw over the next 2 days now as well. Some of them will go back to the out farm depending on how late they're calving, and the rest of them will go here with the rest of the herd. But these crowd then, so there's 21 calves here at the moment. We're looking to sell the start of May, but the 21 of them won't be fit for the start of May. There's probably 4 or 5 of them that are under maybe 20 kilos that we won't be selling. So anything above that we will. So the heaviest of them there are probably coming to around 400 kilos now.
These are after coming on well, like they've put on some conditions since we've been here last.
We weighed them the start of March, and we weighed them 27 days later, and they were ranging from 2 kilos a day, gaining down to 0.9. Now the 0.9 was a calf who got an infection in his joints, but they were averaging 1.8 kilos a day gain. Now they are on about 4 kilos ahead at the moment. But like that, with the weaning, we're hoping that when they're not falling around their mom, they'll be eating a bit more nuts.
So obviously, you just stayed them there for the video because it was a very noisy shed. But that's do everyone wean inside in sheds? It's a lot easier, is it?
Oh, it is.
It is kind of, is it?
Out of the way is a random inside because there's no breaking. If you can keep the calves away from the cows, there's no breaking to cause them nothing.
There's no breaking through fences.
No.
What we might do there is because like they're going to be fairly bursted with milk because they haven't been on it for a while. So after maybe tomorrow evening, we'll leave them in once more just to suck them out, separate them again, and then the cows will kind of go into straw silage mix. So
inside here then?
Yeah, just to kind of wean them.
Like sheep, you put them on the rough kind of ground, not good grass obviously.
Oh no.
Try and keep it a bit bare because you don't want mistakes and things after a week or two.
Is there a chance that you might get 1 or 2 cases or usually are good enough?
1 or 2 maybe, all right, but the biggest problem then with that thing is if the feeding was too good for the summer, when it comes to calving again in September or October, you could be talking about cesareans, you could be talking about trouble like.
So going back to the calving, in fairness, the calves were all healthy that time we were here. What would you say the biggest problems you had since then? Or have you much?
Things were okay,
Like it's very
keep them
routine here.
And you're constant here. What about scouring or something like that?
Not a problem with them. They were too old for it. Like.
The only problem we had was that calf who got an infection in his joints. That's a calf that was only gaining 0.9. He was fairly crotted for a while, especially up in his left shoulder, but he seems to have loosened out a bit now.
What would you give him for that? Antibiotics?
Antibiotics, the vet came to him a few times, but he's well worth it. He's up there again.
It's been a fairly smooth calving this year, so.
Touch wood, yeah.
But it doesn't unfortunately go like that every year, does it?
No, it does not. You get good years and you get bad years. Now, to be fair, this year was very good.
And the weather, how's your grass now at the moment? It looks good.
It's good, yeah. In fairness, we couldn't say the same there. About a week ago, we were tight. And when they did the first rotation, there the 30th of March, we thought we were going to have to bring them in. But luck to God, we had a pick come back in the receded ground. We grazed 2 silage fields. And it seems to have come on again. We'll show you them there soon, but they're actually, when they go into that field, they'll be done their second rotation, so they're on about 28 days at the moment.
So these are the oldest group. You've more outside the youngest ones. We'll show them there in a minute.
There's young ones, and there's actually, there are still heifers there outside that we're keeping. They will have them stuck away outside. No,
so there's replacements and the young ones out.
And so, how many weeks' time will these be for sale?
So the heaviest of them will probably, we're still undecided. At the moment, it's looking at the start of May, but if trade stays good, we might keep them till June and push them to the 500 kilo mark with the way they are gaining.
But beef is going well at the moment.
It is, yeah.
It is the highest it ever was, let's say.
Without a doubt.
It all had to come at some point because they were culling the suckler cows, they were culling beef, people went into turbines and solar, so supply and demand.
We cut back the cows the wrong time.
Well, I was just looking at Castlila Mart there now about an hour ago before we came.
Yeah.
A little white-head heifer,
Yeah.
6 weeks old,
6 weeks.
€540.
Jesus. So going back to the calves here now. So what age are they, so?
So
They'd be
he's
September, I'd say.
early September calves, yeah.
What kilos would they be now?
He's pushing the 400 kilos, so he will be 400
fair
kilos. Yeah, the rest of them, like, he's the heaviest of them, they're around 370, 380. With the lightest of them are still only around 270, and they're actually half twins, so we kept them in because they were no good on grass. That's one of them there.
Okay, yeah.
So they won't be fit for selling like starts
So
today.
twins on as well.
That's a twin, yeah.
They're super good. So how much meal are they getting?
They're getting 4 kilos ahead at the moment. They're getting 90 kilos across 21 of them. So, but like we're hoping with the weaning there now, they'll eat a bit more.
And this is my favourite.
That's her father's calf, yeah.
She's smashing calf out there. And what age is this one?
That's
October as well. He's October.
September.
He's October.
It's October.
792, 892,
692.
or 692.
Yeah.
So you know, the way you're reading out the numbers, you know them all by numbers, really.
Yeah, this is the captain that was sick.
His mother was 692 or 8.
Okay.
992.
But you must be happy with it. Jesus, there's some crop calves.
Very safe.
Yeah, where's he gone? Oh, he's here.
But would you ever go for sale and carry the lot there to March? No, you'd always carry small batches.
If our neighbours were locked up with TD or we had a pending TD test and we wanted to clear up the shed, then we'd go because you don't want to keep them. But this our man who was sick now. He had an infection in his joints, but he still carries his front leg a small bit. But
Jesus, he still has a good bit of weight, yeah.
He was one of the best.
Usually people have the sick calf.
Yeah. So he was well worth looking after like that time. But
you're all clipped. You clip him with the clippers there, is it?
we might do the tails before selling, but we wouldn't really.
They look clean enough, like
Yeah.
on the back there.
But you just have to keep like they're scraped twice a day. They're fed, and that's it really. Like the best thing they can do is just eat and lie down. Like the worst thing you can have is them is walk around the place the whole time.
Away more weight, so
Yeah.
they're outside there.
They'll be walking around the whole time.
Yeah.
I know they'll be getting fresh grass, but it just works here at the moment to keep them.
You know, you're obviously and preparation for the next breeding season, and AI and all that. You use Michael Randall's luck and that.
Yeah, exactly. So they're in calf. They're in calf now, the whole lot. So what they'll be doing now is they'll be going outside. So half of them will go to the out farm, and half of them will join the rest of the group here.
So they're in calf.
They're in calf. Yeah.
So what's the turnaround cycle? So
they were calving them down around September time. We started eyeing them around November. We wouldn't really go much earlier than that, but. They come in as a group. The thing you see then is like this year was an 8 housing now, but when they came in November, like we were putting 3 or 4 cows nearly most days, like so they're fairly compact around that.
And when Michael comes in, would you have a few cows for him probably?
Oh, you probably would, yeah. But the beauty about Michael is fair play to him. If you rang Michael, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He'll come to you like.
Yeah. So and he's close. So
oh yeah.
It's great to depend on someone like that.
Absolutely, yeah. But it suits our system too. Like we don't have a stock bull, but like AI wouldn't suit everyone. Then like so.
See the beauty of it is when you're calving the cows in September, October, they're all coming bulling when they're inside in the yard. You know, it's just the right time to catch. No, chasing on the place.
What about minerals and stuff? How do you?
Just Seltzer Forest blocks from grasslands, and you see there now the second rotation as well. They're getting magnesium in the tracks, especially with the cows with the calves at feet, because when they have calves under them, you'd be worried they would get grass tetanus.
Yeah, they were saying that, especially with the wet weather there.
Yeah, cold bad night to be the danger.
Can't hold the magnesium at all.
Yeah. The second rotation grass as well is renowned for if you get fast or heavy weather.
We definitely had one year die from it, but cows are nearly more prone to
they are, yeah.
Do you know?
But the idea about the cow is against the O. Yeah. The cow will, if you're examining your cow will give you plenty of notice. Okay. She'll be drunk.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, the sheep
just go down.
Sheep was gone.
Yeah.
Like I was on her fairly quick, but gave her everything, but she was
didn't do. Yeah.
But
the thing about it, if you don't get him in time, like we had one here one time, and it was just we got to the last minute. She survived, but the crater, she was brain damaged. She was done that afterwards. We had to sell her. She was cracked.
Yeah. There's always something.
Yeah.
When you put them out the grass, you think the hard work is done.
Oh, it's not. No,
it only begins sometimes.
Yeah.
Like.
Even there, like we thought, they were all AI'd, like, and of course when they went out, then there's 2 of them bullying outside, but we've tried bully them 3 or 4 times now, so that's game over.
They're gone, yeah.
Game over.
So you'll just fatten them, but would you have a one or two like that every year?
Oh, you would. Yeah. You'll be calling 5 or 6 every year.
Yes. And there's no point keeping passengers.
No.
Even the maiden heifers, like I tell you that time, the 9 of them we had, we put 7 of them out to the out farm, but there's 2 there. We tried airing them 3 or 4 times. We put seeders into them, and they just won't come round. So they are getting the road as well. Like, 'cause we can't be carrying passengers here. Like we.
So I'm at to throw up the drone there now, Mark. So I'm starting above here now with the road. So tell us about the pellet grazing here. What's the story?
Yeah, so cows went out the 2nd of March this year, 16 and 16. Like we said, the heifers, the replacement heifers, and the younger calves that just wouldn't be fit for finishing it. So the cows started here in the field beside the yard. They went over then to the well field, the 2 fields below, and the fields here beside the house. And like we said, when grass growth was as poor as it was at the time, we grazed 2 silage fields as well. So they finished the first rotation on the 30th of March, and then we started into the second rotation. So they're actually about halfway through the second rotation, so they're after grazing these fields for the second time, and down the quarry as well for the second time. So like we're running probably on a 28-day rotation at the moment, but because grass growth has picked up again.
It has picked up.
Yeah, we pulled out 2 fields again then for silage. So you'll see the 2 very rich green fields, and the drone, I suppose, they got slurry.
That's the one nearest the road here, is it?
The 2 of them, yeah. So either side of the farm nearest
either
the road.
side, oh yeah. So they'll get the first cut. What date will they get now, roughly?
First week of May. We'll be hoping with the out farm, they'll be cut. Like
And with regards to fertiliser and the slurry, what?
So the silage ground got 2,500 gallons of cattle slurry, and it got 70 units of urea, just a bag and a half. And then for the grazing ground, because it's a unit a day growth, say, and they're on about 28 days, I give it a bag a can. So only 1 bag of nitrogen, and maybe after 5 or 6 rotations, then I might hit it with slurry just to top up the P's and K's.
Super,
But other than that, it's all straight nitrogen for the grazing ground. P's and K's, you should really, if your slurry is short, keep it for your silage ground, because when you're cutting silage, like there's a lot of K's taken over your ground. You'll see the stripes there in the field. That's from rolling. We just rolled the fields there on Saturday, just after the second rotation. Things got a bit cut up. But
just because the weather is it?
Yeah, we wouldn't really be a fan of rolling, but the fields kind of needed it, so we just gave it a quick run. But
it started it out?
Yeah, they seem to be bouncing back fairly quick. So this is the other bunch of cattle then. So this is their 16 and 16 out here, so 16 cows and 16 calves, with the youngest calves that weren't fit for feeding yet. We left them out, and then we have about 5 replacement heifers down there at the moment. We might pick a bit more yet, but we'll see. But like they're nearly done their second rotation. They have 1 field left after that, and that'll be them. They're getting magnesium in the trucks as well, because second rotation grass can just be fairly
in the water trucks.
In the water trucks,
How does that go into?
We just put a bucket into it there every 2 or 3 days, just a bucket of mag. Just it covers them really. If they were getting covered and you were still giving magnesium, you'd see them scouring a lot. You might hold back a bit, but weather like this, you wouldn't be too worried about magnesium.
Dry weather, a lot of people use the buckets, lick buckets.
But you see, then it's different then for dairy lads, because when they are milking the cows twice a day, they're getting the magnesium covered through the nuts in the parlour.
So with regards to magnesium, what you do with it?
It's just literally a bucket of it, just a jam bucket, and we throw it into the trucks every 2 days. You'll see kind of the blue tinge in it. And you just tap it up. You'd know if you were going too heavy then, because the cows they'd be scouring an awful lot if you went too heavy with it. But you're better to be covered with it than to be find a cow.
How much is a bucket of that in? Like, is it dear?
You buy a drum of
it. 40 gallon barrel.
40 gallon.
Yeah. And what was it? 250 euros or something.
We have it. That's 2 years.
2 years out of it, yeah.
2
right,
years. No, it's cheap.
Well worth the money, so.
It's better than coming down and finding a cow on her 4 legs.
Like going back years ago, kind of, would you have? Wouldn't grass.
A lot of nurses, the old people, they used to, which was milking kind of cream at that time, they used to get the Calmag into like a white powder. And they used to mix it with the ration for the cows.
But would you have got, say, the odd cow back?
Oh, you would, yeah. Like the tut.
Like there's obviously a lot more science now.
Oh yeah, it was always a problem here. The 2 big problems we always had here was grass tetany and blackleg.
Blackleg.
If you didn't dose for blackleg, I guarantee you, we guarantee to lose at least 1 or 2 of them every year.
Cows or calves?
Calves, more than cows.
Because we actually don't vaccinate our lambs. We do our own replacements, obviously, on yours, but this year I was going to maybe vaccinate all the lambs.
For Clostridial.
Next week, 2 weeks old, because
go vaccinate or something.
You'd always find a lamb dead here and there. And it pays for itself.
It does, yeah.
I was thinking about doing that, alright.
The back fence as well, there you'll see. So when the cows, say in a field like this, if we have a water supply, when the cows come down so far, we'll actually put up a fence behind them so they don't go back grazing the regrowths again. So it gives you a better chance, that it gives the grass a head start, because if they have too much of a scope, they'll pick the grass you give them, but then they'll go back and start biting their new regrowths again. So this just.
How far will you go down with it?
So that's as far as that'll go now, because they actually only have 1 break left here, so they'll eat that this evening, and tomorrow morning they'll go to the next field.
So how many acres inside this?
About 3.
And how many days?
Depending on the cover, but they did around 5 days here.
Okay.
But like the field they're going to there now, they'll get about 5 days next. There's a good cover in it, but just depends really. Like
and it'll be good grass by the time you
come around
like
again.
the dairy system really.
we
really
try,
grazing.
yeah. Like grass, your cheapest farm of feed. Like so, if we can see grass going ahead of them, like we were saying, we'll take it out for silage. If not, we'll let them through it. But
Is she a pet kind of?
No, they're all reasonably quiet.
they're the ones from Rochestown now. The
Oh,
first
you were
video,
saying that,
the
yeah.
quiet ones.
So people who are watching this video, if you go back there to around the first week of February,
Yeah, exactly.
go back and look at the video when the calves are a bit younger, and you'll see that. But
The replacement heifers then are down here.
these are the youngest calves now, are they?
They are, yeah. So they're the ones that weren't fit for the meal feeding, say. But there's also replacement heifers in them too. So like that, that's a replacement heifer. 1,000 here. We kind of kept her because she was the 1,000th animal to be registered in the farm
right.
too. But she's also a heifer, so we kept her too. But
Yeah.
there's a few then we're a bit undecided what we'll do with them. Like the beef ones, the bulls, they'll obviously go for finishing. But
Is there many above in the shed above you keeping the replacements?
no, they're all going. The 21 of them are all fit for the mark. But your replacements are all here then.
When will these start getting a bit of creep now?
So we'll
middle
bring
of
them
May,
in there
so
to weigh them in about a month to 6 weeks, and we'll start creeping them then. But then the replacement heifers will go back to the creamery farm,
Yeah.
and then the ones obviously we're looking to feed be kept in. But you won't have a group as big as that. You might only have 7 or 8 when it comes to that stage. But there'll be cull cows to go as well. They'll probably go in the meantime too. But other than that, no, it's fairly simple here. Like.
So you must be happy enough with the way the year's going. So like you said this time last year, you cut silage, was it?
Yeah, we cut silage there. The field above there, I think it was the 21st of April we did it. No, it was only about 7 bales, but
Shale?
the field was just kind of too much for him. So we said we'd take it out and mow it. But
So it feels, if you have a bit too much grass and it feels get ahead, would you just automatically
Of course,
pull them for
cut 'em,
silage?
we have our own mower and things there, so it's very easy to go with it.
You go to plan sometimes, but if a field goes too strong, you just cut it.
Oh, take it out,
call
yeah.
And we wouldn't even be afraid, like say if they were grazing half this field and we weren't happy with the graze out,
Yeah.
we take them out and move them on to the next one and cut it. Like contractor mightn't be too happy, it's only an acre or two, but
I know, yeah.
it's only waste, like so all I'm going to do is walk into the ground.
Exactly, yeah, because we'll be cutting our silage. You tilled our grass there this year, so it was a good job. We'll do that again now this year, but we won't be defending for silage for a good while.
Another fortnight.
It could be Christmas. But yeah, when we have good grass in the hill, we'll send them off and we'll start defending it then. Like, but
This must have gone. She wants to go on camera, does she?
Let's go up to Barrastuka.
What age is she now?
She is 2017.
She's fine, cold.
So she's what? She's 8 years.
How many crops of calves she has to
6.
6.
Yeah. They're the ones that they brought the drop of milk. She's actually off a Norwegian red. She's a limousine Norwegian red.
Which calf is hers now?
2675. She's a good question. I think she's one of the red ones.
I'll
She's
tell
11, I think.
They're fine calves, lads.
They're all right.
They're on there
You'll see the difference between the grass and the meal though. Like that calf was actually one of the heaviest ones we've brought out that time, the 1,000 one here.
Yeah.
But because she's not getting the meal, you'd see the difference in the shape compared to the ones above.
Exactly, yeah.
Look,
You can't beat the meal.
no, for weight anyway, definitely not for weight, yeah. But the cows here then they're obviously
No, that calf will definitely be kept for a cow.
yeah.
So that's her calf here.
Yes.
1015.
Keep her as a replacement.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So what breeding? What breeding?
She's a
Lappan,
Lappan out of it, yeah.
Charlie.
Okay.
And this lady's calf will be kept as well. She had
a
a.
drop of milk off her mum because she's a Norwegian red limousine.
She's bursting fat.
She is,
She's in
yeah.
some condition.
And that's Michael Phelps. That's the one who went swimming when we left her out of the heifer before she jumped into the river. And we
Into the rookie here,
yeah,
boss.
we had some job getting her there one evening.
Sweet Jesus Christ. And is the river deep there?
There's
It's
2
not
pools there.
It's deep there.
Is there?
Paul Cobb and Glash in the muck.
Is it
2.
fairly deep?
Oh, that would be, yeah.
Cows can swim, I think, can't they?
Oh, they can. Oh, she can swim anyway.
She can swim in there for sure.
When will you start cutting the silage, you were saying?
So we'll probably aim for the last week, or the first week of May, sorry. That's when the fertiliser and slurry will be out. That's usually when we try and go then. That's usually about 8-10 bales an acre job, but it doesn't sound like a lot, but we kind of go for the quality here more so because that first cut silage is very big for these cows because when they're in feeding calves straight away they need to be on good stuff, so that's what we aim for.
So you'll be cutting in the outside farm?
Yeah.
2 fields above here?
Yeah, so we'll cut the first week of May and then we'll go for the second cut then, hopefully not a third cut, we'll see how the year goes because we have a nice bit of silage left over at the moment, so.
Okay, yeah. But you could go for the third cut all the same?
We might, it depends on grass growth and depends on the demands of the cows too.
Yeah.
If we can, we'll try and graze because we don't need it.
Sure, that the bales you have above there, so we'll take them off.
If we've got the money, we got the bales. Do you hear me? If you got the cash, we got the bales.
Talked last year about spraying docks.
Yeah.
We have a couple of fields gone very bad.
Yeah.
How often would even looking in the field here, I can see 0 docks. What's the story with you here?
So we would have docks, alright, like, but what we do is at the start of the year, I blanket spray the farm if it's needed. Now I haven't done it this year yet, but what I do is I give it dock star at half the rate. Like realistically, we find it very hard to get rid of the docks, but you can get rid of them for a few grazings. Like, so what I do is I go at half the rate, and I do the place here. Now that's
why half the rate?
Because if you go the full rate, it knocks grass back too much.
Okay,
and I did it once, and to be honest, I didn't see a difference. Now that's for here, could be different elsewhere, but if it was silage grown in and you were looking to clean it, it'd be different again. You'd still go at half the rate, but what you do is you'd split your fertiliser application. So with here, for grazing, if I gave it fertiliser, if I sprayed it before or after fertiliser, to be honest, doesn't make much of a difference. They're going to be in there fairly quick. But for silage, what you do is you'd put out half your fertiliser. So say for first cut, you put out maybe 45 units if you got no slurry.
Yeah.
You'd then do your spray, and then a week later you'd give it another 45 units again, because while the dock is starting to die, you give the grass another kick, and the grass will obviously dominate out the docks.
That from your own experience, it works best.
Yeah, and even talking to lads on doing it before, like docks, they're a pest, like, and trying to keep them down is a thing.
Because we get slurry, and you know, slurry drives them mad.
Pig slurry, because it's so high in P as well, it phosphorus just drives docks mad as well. Like,
so that'll be another job to know this year to go spraying for us.
Oh, we look forward to it.
So we'll do a video of that there at some stage when the sheep are going off the mountain before we defend for the silage, I suppose. And
even the rushes there as well, like, we haven't seen too many of them come back this year again.
And there was a lot of rushes on here a couple of years ago.
There was, yeah.
And this ground here?
Yeah.
MCPA then is the job for that.
Yeah, MCPA is the best, only job for it, really.
Yeah. And the longer the rush is dying for, the better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The slower
yeah.
Slower,
You're
better.
behind, yeah.
Yeah.
This is your lowest field here, the river. Would this be the wettest?
No, the wettest one is actually behind you there. There's springs in that. I know there's a fair fall off it, but I actually rolled it there on Saturday. But where I rolled it, actually, if you came back around again, if you rolled a wet patch, you could actually see the water bubbling up in it again. So there's a few drains that need to be open there again. And you say sometimes there with the river route, it would come up halfway into the field here. If you were flooding.
If you were flooded, come in here.
Yeah, it would come up where the fence is there. You'd see the branches and things, the trash from the flood.
And high tide would
come up. High tide goes east as far as Artully. But that's a very high tide.
That's nearly a mile over the road.
Would be, yeah.
Which is more, I suppose.
Yeah.
But as a crow flies about a mile, yeah.
So yeah, you would have seen Kilmare Bay there on the drone, in the drone. So how far are you from Kilmare? About
3 miles. Yeah.
5 kilometres. We're nearly slap bang in the middle between Kilgarvan and Kilmare.
Yeah. It's 5 kilometres either way.
Yeah. We actually cut silage in this field last year, but this year we grazed obviously because we needed it, but we just rolled it there because it was just a bit divots and things from the cows.
Right.
But like you see the difference in the reseeded field versus a permanent pasture, we call it. So this field is actually on the hit list this year now to be reseeded. There's only
and what time of the year will you do that? Later on in the year?
Depends on how we are for grass, but probably around July time again. We'll burn it off, plough it.
Who will you get to do that?
Mr. Looney, I suppose, Kilfada Agri.
Looney, Kilgarvan.
Yeah, shout out for him there. No, he might do the job a bit cheaper that he got the shout out.
Oh. He might, So it is high enough, that part.
It is, yeah. There's a few drains we might need to open as well. But to be honest, a lot of it just needs the plough and bullet the land leveler as well.
How often, say for example, if you receive this year, how often would you when would you do it again then?
Well, I put it this way. The last time it was done was 1986, so it is nearly time to do it again now. Like.
We'll try. If we
You're as bad as us, so we haven't received a field in a long time. But
what we're trying to do basically, I suppose, since the last 2 years, we try and do a field every year now. So this will be the hit list this year.
Yeah.
The Creamery Farm over needs to be done, the silage field, but like to reseed 16 acres, it's a fair pocket hitting one, like, so that's
you need a lot of grass for that.
Yeah, and you need to budget for that one, so
you do,
it won't be on the hit list this year. That field as well is probably the one in front of our own house, probably the worst performing. That'll need to be done as well, but because we traffic it so heavy with the quad and the cows, it's hard to take it out.
I know, but it's hard to find time for everything, and money as well, the cost of all this. Like.
And there's rock to be broken in it as well. So.
But there's improvements made every year.
Oh yeah.
You can only do it slow, bit by bit.
Absolutely.
We're finishing up here now. Yeah. So you'll be this time last year. What were we saying? The price was.
So the price of the weigh is there. We sold around the start of May last year. They're around 270 to 80 kilo. the way they're looking at the moment in the current market trends, they're probably E to U grade cattle. They're probably from the €6 to €5.50. No, that's for heavy cattle. There's some of them not at that mark yet. They're the ones
That's some difference of price in a year, though.
Yeah, and like, look, call it a spade. Inputs have gone up, but not at the same relative rate, if that makes sense. Like, so, look, money is to be made on farms this year. We've gone after a tough few years the last 2 years.
That's for sure. One good year is not going to make up for the other bad years, like.
So hopefully we can kick on. Will prices stay what they are? It's hard to know. I don't think they'll go back to what they were before, because that's supply and demand thing. But the way it's looking, prices will hold for another while. So we'll see how it goes.
You were saying there as well, you might have a delivery coming.
We do, yeah. We have a delivery coming on Wednesday. So we actually changed colour of the tractor. We bought a New Holland there a few weeks ago of an Atkins in Cork.
Atkins, yeah.
The John Deere is staying, but
right.
there's a New Holland coming there on Wednesday.
So you'll have to get good prices for the calves now, so.
It could be going back in a month's time. We'll be finding out. It could go back up in the lorry again.
Yeah, we'll see. It might be on this video. We'll let you know if it's on it. Yeah. But what have we here now? Even a nice bit of gear. Take out a lot of it when you were clearing out the shed to get that stuff, was it?
This is all the stuff you would have seen in the shed, like, so.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the higher work there now we'll be doing with these things. So the bale handler and trunk will be out of there, but that's the grass harrow then. So we actually used the grass harrow this year already.
Yeah.
Just after the second rotation, a place that didn't need to be rolled. But I wanted to spread the dung plats and take out the dead grass.
Yeah.
So I used it there, so it'll be out of there again now when the cows come out of there. I'll probably use it below there again. But it is a good job, yeah.
It is a good job, in fairness, yeah.
For opening ground and things, yeah.
So you pretty much have everything.
Yeah, there's more still above in the shed, but the mower and tether won't be coming out for another
I know,
few
yeah.
weeks anyway, so.
And we have the spreader and trailers and all that there, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for today, I suppose. Thanks very much, lads. Hopefully you'll get good prices in a month's time or whenever, like.
If you see the Range Rover, you know it's very good.
Thanks, lads. Thanks, Connie. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers.
Good look. So that's it for another video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. What have you done, boys?
The hell with you, Joe.